When you are dating, the friend zone is a place that you need to not get into. The friend zone is when a woman categorizes a man and says, oh, he's not a potential dating partner, he is just a friend. Let me tell you some tips on how to not get in the friend zone. And I'll tell you, I met a woman and I convinced her to marry me. This was 13 years ago. And our marriage is a success. What I did was simple. It was not easy, but it was simple. So here are some things to know. Women often decide fairly quickly if you are or are not a prospective partner. Once they decide, the chances of changing that decision are low. Of course, there are exceptions. But let's talk about the facts. Let's talk about the numbers. You increase your chances of finding a romantic partner by regularly meeting new people. So if you're single and you wish you were not, ask yourself if you've made decisions that make sure that you are regularly meeting new people. When you meet a woman, the time starts ticking until the moment where you are probably friend-zoned forever. So see how that works mathematically. If there's only a small chance of finding someone you're interested in, who's interested in you, and if there's only a small chance of actually making a connection, and if the time frame needs to be fairly quick from meeting to making some kind of lasting connection, what do you have to do mathematically? There is an answer. You have to be meeting new people frequently. Now, if you take that into consideration, and if you take it seriously, that means that the friend zone is a real thing that's going to happen most of the time. Don't try to escape it. Don't try to change the laws of the way things work. I mean, maybe if you're very interested in somebody, try. If you find that you've been friend zoned, try to get out. But for the most part, the way you should use your years as you're looking for a mate is you need to be ready to move on when you realize that it has happened. You need to be willing to move to wherever the greener pasture is. Now, how do you make an impression in light of this? Well, you need to make an impression that you are somebody that is potentially worthy of being a romantic partner. Here is what I recommend. It's what worked for me. Be direct. Don't try to be suave. Don't try to be anything other than what you normally are. Just be your basic you. Because if you act different from your basic you, then first of all, it's going to be a lot of work. You're not going to be very good at it. People are going to see through you. Also, even if you do succeed in being something other than what you really are, there's a problem here. The person might come to like that person, which puts you in a bind because now you don't know if they like the real you. So just be basic, be yourself, and show that you are interested. Now, what I mean when I say show that you're interested is show that you want to get to know more about the woman. Just ask some normal questions. Imagine if somebody had said to you, I'd like you to get to know me. What would you like to know? And now you ask the question that comes most naturally from that. And it needs to be the obvious kind of questions. So, what's your name? I mean, I think my first words were, hi, I'm Cody, what's your name? And then I think after that, the conversation was embarrassingly direct, which is okay. But I think I approached my wife, Sasha, at a party after we'd already been at the party for an hour. I'd already introduced myself. But I sat down next to her and I reminded her who I was. I said, so, I'm Cody. I'm 25. I'm a music teacher. I had to tell her that because I looked 17 and I was definitely going to get friend zoned based on my appearance. Right now I'm 38. So give me an idea just how off my age is compared to my appearance. So that snapped in her mind, that snapped me right out of that friend zone because I was employed. I had a degree. I was making enough money to support a wife. And I was at the age where she would be interested. So that's how direct my questions were. And then it was things like, so where are you from? Do you have family around here? What kind of work do you do? What church do you go to? Do you play music? What are your goals in life? These kinds of things. Notice that they kind of come in a certain order from more casual to less casual. And then after you've had this conversation, if you enjoyed the conversation, that tells you a lot. If they seem to enjoy the conversation, that tells you a lot. And then if possible, ask for maybe, could I get your phone number? Could we do coffee sometime? Could we get lunch sometime? It has to be fairly casual because she doesn't know you. She needs to know whether you're a trustworthy person. At this party, it was an ugly sweater Christmas party, and it was 2009, and she had the ugliest sweater of all of them. Caught my eye. She won. And in the middle of this conversation I was having with her, maybe for about 30 minutes, we got to know each other a bit, talked about our musical interests, our churches and things like that. Her friends came up to her and said, hey, we've got to go because we were planning to go to a karaoke place. So she suddenly goes, and guess what? I never asked her her number. And she was a little bit mad about that. But after she left, and after she went to the karaoke place, and then she got home, she text messages several of her friends and says, hey, I've met the man that I'm going to marry. Just want you to know. Okay, so a 25-year-old me, dorky, skinny, like deathly skinny, not suave, but employed and knows how to be myself, and showed an interest in her. Within half an hour, she knew that she was going to marry me. And within 1 week, I knew that I was going to marry her. And I won't tell you the exact time frame, but it was not very long. So you can do this. And it's a numbers game, like I said. It wouldn't have happened if I wasn't at a party where I was likely to meet people that I'd never met before. I got out of the friend zone. I think I was in it for like a minute. And then I was out of it for 30 minutes. And then we were soon dating. I'll tell you a little funny thing about that. She ended up friend requesting a whole bunch of people that were at the party because she wanted to get in touch with me, but she didn't want it to look like she was. She had this idea that she shouldn't be the one that was initiating. So that was convenient. She friend requested me and I immediately messaged her, and then there was a little snafu because I said something like, over Messenger, I said we should get together, and she said she'd like to, and then I gave her my phone number. And somehow, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but when I messaged her my phone number, the whole message didn't come through, it was just the phone number. So it looked like I was being a total arrogant jerk, the kind of person that'd be like, here's my number, in case you're ever interested. But it was seriously not that, but she thought it was, so that made her mad. But I can laugh about it now. Anyway, so we got together, and I have really good memories of that time. And 13 years later, we have 2 kids, and it's wonderful. Well, she said yes. I got out of the friend zone. And I think that a lot of people could do this. If I could do it, a lot of people could. It helps if you like yourself. It helps if you know who you are and who you want to be, to the degree that you can in your 20s or 30s. Work on that, and work on being the kind of person who's meeting new people. And then just follow the simple directions that I gave. Ask intentional questions. Be yourself. That's it. Now, you might have to try this plan a dozen times. I had to do it a few times. I had to date different people. But think about it this way. As difficult as it is to put yourself out there and to experience the likelihood of rejection, which kind of life do you want to live? Do you want the kind of life where you're all by yourself, or the kind where you have a wife and kids? How much inconvenience, how much rejection are you willing to take for the chance that that could actually happen? So you might have to put yourself out there a dozen times or more. Probably not, but even if you have to, who cares? This plan only has to work one time. Thanks for watching. God bless.